See, anybody who hears hearing shots fired over the radio is that's an eerie.
Oh, yeah.
Have you ever heard that?
Oh yeah, many times.
Okay. So, and you'll know that when you hear it, even though no matter how many times you've heard it, it's like and I didn't hear it till I came to my new department.
Mm-hmm.
And it is weird.
Mm-hmm.
But if you're saying it that calm, after the pucker factor of everyone listening hearing that, after the fact, now you're going, I was calm as shit.
Oh,
Obviously it's all settled, but like, I think, some of us, we all know those guys that get on the radio for a traffic stop and they're screaming and because they know two levels, not talking and screaming.
Right.
But like, I think all of us never want to be that guy like, oh my God, I'm dead! Yeah. So we all probably go in our head like, how are we going to get, like, if that happens, how are we going to get this radio traffic out? So that's interesting. Like, you were like, 6 George 2-2, shots fired. And someone's probably like, damn.
It's actually funny because that's exactly how it happened. So I go 6 George shot. The first time I say it, there's no answer. Like, nobody responded. It was just dead air. I didn't think anybody heard me. So I go over the radio again, say the exact same thing. And then it just lights up. Like, everybody, it's almost like they didn't believe me the first time.
This guy is way too calm.
Right.
Like, he must be practicing for if something ever happens.
Right.
He didn't know he keyed the mic up.
So I'm sitting there behind cover. It goes out of the radio. Now I hear everybody saying en route. And I got cops from every jurisdiction within 30 miles coming.
You have the cavalry coming.
Yeah, everybody's coming. Luckily, it was shift change, like I was telling you. So our night shift officer, she was coming on at the same time. She was about a block away from the police department when she heard the shots. And she called dispatch, was like, is something going on type thing. I think that's what happened. You'd have to ask her, but but at any rate, so she finally gets to the police department. And like I said, she was parked next to where we didn't have a secured lot. So we had a couple squad cars that would just sit in the parking lot. And then we had a couple, some of the newer squad cars would be in a garage. Okay. And her squad car was parked outside at that point, and she was parked next to it. She just parked next to it when she saw me moving and shooting. And so she takes cover behind it and is like, what's going on?
Oh, so she sees you in the fight.
She sees me in the fight walking backwards shooting.
Does she?
She doesn't engage. She didn't engage.
Well, is she, so...
She doesn't know I'm hit either.
The way your department works, like, was she already dressed for work?
Yes, she was already in uniform, yep.
Did she get on the air and was like...
Yeah, she got in right away.
Okay.
Yep,
so,
she got in the fight with me right away.
That's good.
Yep. So I'm sitting here behind that building still. I'm sitting there behind that building, still trying to make sure I have the right angle and whatnot, and I'm watching. And I see the guy come back out of the house, and he's carrying an AK-47. And and I got my Glock 23. I only had 2 more mags left in me. All my spare ammo and stuff's in the car.
How far away is your car at this point?
My car is, so I was it was in the middle of the road. And I was on the one side of the road and he was on the other side of the road. So, 50 feet probably.
Which is
7 miles.
Yeah, it might as well be the other side of the ocean.
Right.
When you have to go.
Right. Yeah. So I see him coming. I see him, and he didn't see me. Luckily, I'd pied the corner, and he obviously thought I was on my squad car because he unloaded that AK magazine into my car.
Really?
He thought I was in the car, and
which, I mean, you even said yourself.
Yep.
I got to get back to my equipment, but.
It's a bullet magnet.
No, where was your, now, did everybody have a rifle, or did you have it because you were SWAT?
So we had the ability to have rifles if we wanted them. Okay. I purchased my own rifle. I had it set up specifically for SWAT, but I had some optics on mine, so we had the carrier, the bar behind.
That's what I was going to ask you next. Where was that in your car?
So I had that, but my optics wouldn't fit there. So I couldn't put, and you can't take your optics on and off.
No, you can't do that?
All right. So usually I had it in the trunk.
Okay.
But I don't recall if it was even in the trunk that day. I just don't recall.
Yeah.
I knew I wanted, I think it was because I knew that's where I was going. I needed to get to my rifle, but obviously I didn't make it.
Because, and I'm sure you've probably had this, there's a huge debate on where to put secondary weapons in vehicles. My old PD, we had, the old shotgun racks were vertical. They were transitioned to, maybe they were vertical, horizontal, but they were right there.
Yeah.
And so someone will say, I liked it because I could grab it as, and I told you this story where like, I roll out of it with the rifle in, but there's also an argument for being able to, if they're lighting your car up, dump out of the car and get behind your entire car.
Right.
To get to your trunk.
Right.
It's like you're 6'1", half dozen the other. And like, I'm like, well, put a rifle in the front, put a rifle in the back.
Why not?
Put one under the spare tire, like, I don't know, put one on your leg. There's no great answer.
Did you carry a backup weapon?
No, my first department didn't allow that.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it wasn't in the policy. There were, it was interesting. It never occurred to me, right? And I worked for a department, like you said, 10,000 people. It was 9-10 square miles, some farmland, like nothing like wasn't crazy. But there was a guy, a good friend of mine.